Hey there, gamers. Oh, sorry. Hey there, gamers. My name is Noah, and
And
that
I'm
is
other way. Take three.
okay. Hey there, gamers. My name is Noah, and that's
Other way.
Hey there, gamers. My name is Noah, and that's
Ben from LHG. And today we're talking first impressions for Sucker Punch's new open world odyssey, Ghost of Tsushima. And I think we have a lot of good things to say about this game.
oh yeah. I got nothing but positives about this game. I'm having
Yeah, do you think is it me or does Tsushima kind of seem like the anti-Last of Us coming right after? And I mean that in the sense that the games could not possibly be more different in the
oh
way
yeah,
that
in
they
terms of
play,
design and
art style, just the
colors and
the overall optimism of the game itself.
yeah, yeah.
When you play Ghost of Tsushima, you smile a lot. When you play The Last of Us, you're like, "Oh God, so brutal," a lot. And speaking of which, check out my new video essay, "The Last Jedi of Us," which is currently available on the channel. It's probably the video to the left or the right, whichever one has the other video. Anyway, Ghost of Tsushima. We've both been playing it a little bit. Noah has gotten farther into the story than I have. So why don't you start with your first impressions of the game, and then I'll hop in and we'll get a little discussion going over some juicy gameplay footage.
Yeah, so I want to get it on right off the bat. This is easily my favorite open world to explore of this generation,
Mm-hmm.
100%. And
Mm-hmm.
that's due in part of, we'd never had an open world game set in feudal Japan, and it's something gamers have been wanting forever from Assassin's Creed. But I'm happy it was Sucker
Mm-hmm.
Punch because the execution, in my opinion, is flawless in the world design, art design, combat. It's incredible. And it's just environments and colors, the use of colors,
Yeah.
particles we've never really seen in a game before.
I'm glad you mentioned Assassin's Creed because in many ways this game feels like Assassin's Creed minus the bullshit. Like it takes a lot of cues from Assassin's Creed, and I honestly think it also kind of feels like Horizon Zero Dawn in a lot of many ways. But Assassin's Creed, I think, is the more direct comparison, especially given the historical setting. But what this game does really right, I think they probably played a lot of Assassin's Creed. They listened to a lot of complaints about Assassin's Creed, and they said, "Okay, we're going to cut all of that out and
Yeah.
just stick to what the gamers want." And I think the biggest compliment I can pay this game is how gamer focused it is, and that bleeds into I have never seen load times so quick.
So you want to hear something funny?
Oh, I
They
think I,
had,
I think I know what you're gonna say.
yeah, I don't know. I mean, so when you boot up the game, you have like a minute and a half load time, I would say.
Hmm.
But fast travel respawn,
It's the first
it's
time fast
super
travel
quick.
deserves to be called fast
Fast
travel.
travel, and the loading was so quick. Sucker Punch had to extend the loading times
So you could read the
so you
tips.
could read tips, but they still go by in like a flash.
It's so refreshing because I like fast travel just because, like, say you need to upgrade your katana, your bow. It's nice to say, hey, the mission I'm playing is right here, the upgrade's right here, but that's going to be another 10-minute diversion just to do that. With this game, finally, you can just be like, boom, I'm back upgrading the bow, maybe pick up another side mission, and boom, you can get right back to where you were. And that gamer centric ethic bleeds into every corner of the game in terms of keeping you solely focused on what you want to do. Like, I love the fact that looting is instantaneous. Like, this looting system is the anti Red
Oh
Dead
yeah,
Redemption to
there's no animation of
none at all.
sniping through things. It's just it's very old
the
school
the
feeling.
flowers
Very old
just
school feeling.
it looks like when you loot flowers, it's like Thanos snapped them
Yeah,
away and into your inventory.
yeah, pretty
All
much.
things balanced, and that's so cool. Like the first time you see it, you're like, that's kind of weird. The flowers disappear. But once you're actually playing the game, like once you're headed to a Mongol camp, and you see some yew wood, you see some bamboo, some flowers that you just want to pick up along the way, you're still focused on the fun part of what you're doing, and all the crafting materials, the looting. It's just seamlessly bleeds into getting to the fun part, and I really appreciate that. And I didn't really appreciate how much I really appreciated that until I was a couple hours into the game. And I will say, for the people watching this who are, are watching this before they get Ghost or they've just booted it up, the first hour and a half does not seem like the game that you are in store for. The tutorial section, the opening act, it's very rote. You might be thinking this seems kind of generic, just because like they're getting all the housekeeping done so quickly that I don't think the first hour and a half is representative of the game that you have in store for you. But of course, you're going to play through that. So just understand that they're just setting everything up as quickly as they can to get you in the action. And once you're running around, you'll appreciate the fact that they didn't have like a Red Dead 5 hour prologue. They just said, "Here's what's going on. Here's who you are. Now you're in the action," and I really appreciate that.
Yeah, and speaking of action, I adore the combat.
Combat. This
It's
might be
a
the best combat in.
an
I might.
open world game.
My previous winner for best combat was Horizon, and I'll challenge anyone to argue that previous to this game, Horizon didn't have the most frenetic and fast-paced combat. But I agree with a lot of the reviewers who play a lot of games kind of have the same opinion that the combat is so balanced. It's so balanced because it lets you pick whatever balance you want. It doesn't lock you into a play style, but it makes so many different options available for play style that all seamlessly dovetail with each other. That combat is just so much fun.
Yeah, it's super fluid. The animation is buttery smooth. And the use of like real life samurai stances for different opponents
Hmm.
is just a genius system. And each of those stances have their own like stronger moves, and it's super fun to just jump around between different enemy types and like switch stances, and you just feel like a badass. And there's different types of encounters. Obviously, you could do head on. You could actually do a standoff, which is a classic samurai,
Hmm.
strike first type deal.
Hmm.
You could do stealth, which I don't do a lot. I started upgrading my stealth tree
Hmm.
now that I'm done with like all the sword fighting stuff, and I'm starting to use it a bit more. And then you have, oh, I can't get into it because it's a spoiler.
Don't do it. I'll
But
just I'll just say the best compliment I've heard someone pay this game is from none other than Jim Sterling, who said the combat in this game is so much fun. For the first time ever, he's excited about seeing a bandit camp.
yeah, I agree. I agree. And there's a lot of bandit camps. There's a lot of locations. And just to touch on the fast travel real quick again, is there's fast travel locations everywhere.
Hmm.
This is a big open world, and it's so helpful. Like every shrine, every town, every um, like I don't know, cleared fortress, almost every area of the map you complete becomes a fast travel point, and I just appreciate it so
It
much.
seems like the people at Sucker Punch who have never done a true open world before. I mean,
Yeah, they have.
Is Infamous considered open world?
Yeah, all the Infamous are open world.
It's not just running around an urban map. I've only played a little bit of Second Son.
No, they're open worlds, open cities.
Oh, well, I retract that statement. Please don't think less of me. But it definitely seems like they had many years of playing open world games, and they I think they probably sat down and they said, "What are all the things that piss us off about open world games? Let's not do any of that. Like let's design the very framework of how you're going to play this game with all of the annoyances of an open world game removed so that we might actually create one of the most fun open world games that's ever been made, you know?
Yeah, no, I agree. And it's so fun that I want to do the side missions, and the side missions
Mhm.
are like mini Kurosawa films,
Mhm.
and it's so great, and all the characters are really well developed, very unique personalities. You understand where they're coming from. They're all kind of archetypes, I would say,
Mhm.
but they're done extremely well. There's a sensei you meet pretty early on, who was your bow and arrow sensei back in the day. He's one of my favorite characters in the game.
Hmm.
Um, so I mean, it's not a bad thing. It's just something that I have a little issue with, just because it's my playing tendencies. Is I like to explore so much right off the get go, and then I just collect all these side quests and want to do them, get the most powerful gear,
Hmm.
and I want to go into difficulty for a bit. So there's
What are
no
you playing on?
I switch between normal and easy because
Normal and easy.
some encounters get super tough, especially the encounters I don't want to talk about.
Uh huh.
Um,
Ugh. I'm on hard, but I'm not nearly as far into it as you are.
but yeah, there's no like, okay, I'm not this level, so I can't take on this enemy.
Yeah.
Like if you're skilled enough, you could take on the enemy. If you're
I
skilled enough,
really like the lack of level gating.
yeah.
I don't think I've. Has there been? Did Horizon have levels like that?
Mm-hmm. Well, there's recommended levels for missions.
It's just so fucking refreshing to see an open world game that doesn't have a stupid level meter.
Yeah, I mean, Red Dead didn't have it, but even Infamous had it to some extent.
Hmm.
Um, so it's really kind of a very free open world where I feel like I could go wherever and be equipped to do it if I'm skilled enough.
And
Um,
the lack of any real HUD, like
oh, it's gorgeous.
it seems like they're forcing players to play an open world game the way
Enjoy the world.
hardcore players have been suggesting people play open world games that I personally have never attempted. Like I'm Mr. Minimap, dude, and you don't. I
There's
didn't
no mini
realize.
map.
I
Me
didn't re
too.
I didn't realize how much I relied on a mini map before it wasn't there. You know, because a lot of times I'm just like, where's the mini map? I'm gonna follow the mini map, and then you have this big beautiful world, and Sucker Punch is like, fuck yo mini map.
We
We're,
have wind.
we're gonna fart in your general direction.
And like I do it all the time just because it looks so pretty when
Uh huh.
wind blows. Have you been using the flute? The flute, if you play the flute, it changes the weather.
I
It has
have a
no
little
effect on
bit.
gameplay. It's just kind of like, I guess, design preference. And
Mm-hmm.
um, there's generally when there's rain, I whistle it away. Um,
I whistle the rain away.
whistle the rain away. Um, but there's moments where I was like, okay, this is pretty epic
Mm-hmm.
rain, and it's just like that combined with the photo mode and the amount of control you have the photo mode. You could tell a big mission for Sucker Punch was to make this world as enjoyable as possible and tailor it to what you find appealing.
Mm-hmm.
And that even goes with the Kurosawa mode. Did you play with the Kurosawa mode on at all?
I haven't yet.
It's awesome. I've only done it for like a few scenarios, but it changes the audio. It adds like a crackly film
Mm-hmm.
grain filter on top of it, and it's like you're watching a Kurosawa film, especially in the encounters I don't want to talk about. Um, so it's yeah, it's the game is like here's a piece of art, enjoy it how you want to enjoy it.
Yeah, I personally, I'm gonna take my my time with this one.
Oh, me too.
I don't want to barrel through this, dude. I want to see the whole map before I move on to the next part of the map. I want to level up as possible. I want to level up as high as possible before I even attempt to get further into the game. Like I'm having a lot of fun enjoying this like totally gamer focused sandbox that they've made and really
Yeah,
reveling in a lot of the things they did so as to make it as fun as possible for the gamers. You know.
and another thing what I love, a very other gamer friendly aspect of this game is there's a lot of things that grab your attention and be like, hey, let's go this way, away from your mission objective, away from the mission you're in the middle of.
Hmm.
You could actually just put that mission on pause and do something completely different.
Hmm.
Um, and I have really bad ADD with open world games. So just knowing that it's really refreshing. That's not an instant mission fail if I deviate outside of the radius.
And even just speaking very quickly about mission fails, one of the things I like so much about it is because I am playing on hard, I'm dying a lot, but the load times are so goddamn quick that let's just say there's a mini boss or just a group of bandits that keep kicking your ass, you can just keep running at them, trying different strategies, and there's not a minute long wait in between getting back into the battle. You die, and I love how they let Jin kind of flail for 5 minutes before they reload.
Yeah,
It's
so
not like you're dead, reload. It's like,
well,
oh, you get
no,
cut down, and you're just like,
there's a way. I forget if it's an upgrade or a charm you equip
uh-huh,
that you could come back from that down state.
got it.
Yeah,
The point being, you're right back in the action, and I again,
great checkpoints too.
gamer focused. You die, you come back real quick, you get right back into the action, and I think that's one of the things I'm most excited about this game is because, practice makes perfect, and there's so many different options for combat. By allowing you to continually throw yourself against an enemy and not making you wait, you're excited for a battle that kicks your ass, right? You're excited because you're going to learn and you're going to have opportunity after opportunity with no inconvenient wait in between to keep getting better at the combat system, And I think the biggest compliment I can pay the game is that it's one of those games that you're like, I have an hour, fuck yeah, I get to go play Ghost. Whereas I think with Last of Us, and I think we both really enjoyed the game, you're like, I have an hour, better fucking prepare myself for the darkness of humanity. For better or for worse, even the beauty of it. But this game really it gets your gamer juices going. It's why you love video games, and
Yeah,
it really revels in that.
yeah. I can't give this game enough praise.
There are some. I have a couple negatives, but they're hardly. I mean, the acting is pretty wooden, and that's where my comparison to Horizon Zero Dawn comes in. Like, the acting's pretty wooden. Like
Well, yeah. I mean, I think so. Because we just off of the heels of The Last of Us, which is top tier storytelling
hmm
storyline, um, and to get this, which it's I would say it's more of like a role playing story,
hmm
um, and I kind of role play by like choosing what outfits I want during a cutscene and stuff like that. Um, and this game, I would say the biggest story chunks are side missions and doing side quests. Those are their own focus story. There is an overarching story you go through, which I believe is pretty run of the mill. Just for
Speaking
that
of story,
setting.
though, we should link to the documentary I sent you earlier today. That added a lot to my
Yeah.
enjoyment of it. The For those of you that might not know, this is loosely based on the true story of the Mongol invasion of the island of Tsushima, and the opening battle. No spoilers on Khotan Beach. I believe that's the name of the beach. That all happened, and this game essentially imagines that one or two of the samurai from that assault survived, where in actual history they didn't. And I kind of like the idea that it's fictional nonfiction. But we'll link to a really great documentary that we found earlier today, going over the Mongol invasion of Tsushima. And honestly, the documentary, like, you're playing the game and you see all the houses burnt and the people slaughtered, and you're like, wow, they really upped the desecration for the game. But no, I mean, as the doc tells you, they ransacked the shit out of the island and they slaughtered all the residents and burned everything. So having watched that, it gave me a whole new appreciation for the world I was running around in, and we'll link the documentary in the description below. Anyway, getting back to the game story you were saying.
I actually just played. When I'm watching a documentary, there was a segment in the documentary. I was like, "Holy shit!" I just played that set piece. It didn't go
hmm
down exactly historically accurate, but the setup and the people involved were the same.
hmm
And I thought that was really cool.
Yeah. I mean, okay, I think you understand how we feel about Ghost of Tsushima.
Yeah, we love it.
it's a really wonderful way to say goodbye to the big AAA PS4 exclusives. You know,
I agree.
I think it's been a pretty incredible month for the PlayStation fans out there with The Last of Us 2 and with Ghost as kind of, you know, the final love letters to the big PS4 exclusives. And you couldn't get two more different games, you know.
Yeah.
I think there's definitely something in there for everyone. I am really excited to spend as much time like The Last of Us Part 2, like it's a 30-hour, mine was a 40-hour playthrough, but then, you know, multiple playthrough, blah blah blah. My point is I can see Ghost of Tsushima having a Witcher like effect where you beat it, you new game plus it, you come back to it time and time again just because being in the world is so much fun. Leveling up is so much fun. It's not a game that you're just going to want to get through to say that you completed it. It's a game that you're really going to want to savor. You're going to want to get really good, and I guarantee you, you're going to load it up. You're going to load it up time and time again after you're through the game, just to be in that world. My favorite part, speaking personally, because open world is my favorite genre. My favorite part about open world games is frankly how relaxing I find them. You know, I love the fact that I can engage in combat, but I love the fact that I can pick a mountain and I can slowly walk my way there, and it's almost a meditation for me. And I think this game delivers that in a manner I haven't seen since The Witcher. You know, it
Yeah.
revels in its own beauty. It doesn't bash you over the head with it, and it allows you to take it at your own pace. And it's a real wonderful experience.
Yeah, and um there's no grinding. Like none of it feels like grinding.
Hmm.
It's fantastic, and that's a big criticism for me, especially with Odyssey. I mean, that game's just all grinding.
Have we
Um,
talked about how I should have just spent the $10 on the stupid XP booster for that game?
yeah.
I'm never going to forgive you for that, Ubisoft. Never.
Well, I think that's about does it. Anything you want to add, Ben?
No, I just say like, you know, if you are in if any part of you is a fan of open world gameplay, really well balanced and really fun combat, beautiful, beautiful vista. I mean, shit. If any part of you likes why you like video games, then you owe it
If
to
you like
yourself.
video games,
Yes, if you like video games, Ghost was made for you. It's made by people who clearly love games, who wanted gamers to have just as much fun as possible. And I personally am looking forward to spending. I'm going to be playing this up until Cyberpunk, son.
yeah, I'm gonna be playing this up till Infinite, most
Infinite,
likely.
yes, yeah. We know how you feel about Infinite. And watch for our Infinite reveal on Thursday.
Thursday morning.
And bring some tissues because you're going to have to wipe Noah's jizz all off of your screen.
All off the camera. And might have a special guest. Wink, wink.
I've no. He has not told me what that means, so I will find out as well. I will find out as well. So that's it for our first impressions of Ghost of Tsushima. Thanks once again for engaging with the LHG team. Again, we're getting off the ground, but if you can give us a like and a subscribe, it would mean the most to us. We have a lot of good stuff coming your way. And once we're allowed to reopen, I'll have some fun live events because we're
Yeah.
a comedian born and bred gaming company coming your way. But until then, we'll just keep doing our best to be passionate about the games that we know and love.
Yeah. We've got tons of more great gaming content for you on the
Hmm.
way. So look forward to that. I don't know what just happened there.
That was you. That was the smoothest dismount I've
Yeah.
ever seen, buddy.
Like us on Facebook, follow us on Instagram
Are
at
we on
LH
Facebook?
Gamers. Yeah,
Facebook page?
yeah. All right. Thanks for watching, guys.
Thanks. We'll see you in the next one. Peace.